The Los Angeles Rams had a much-needed win versus the New England Patriots in Week 11. But let's take a look in this video of how that impacted their playoff chances. And we're also going to look at the Rams' upcoming schedule for the rest of the season to see how this might play out. This is totally coming from a Rams fan perspective. I normally have a Rams shirt on. However, I'm doing laundry today, and I wanted to get this video out. So you'll have to deal with the universal shirt I got on. Anyway, if we look here, you'll see, and we'll look at a couple of picture images here. So currently right now, according to playoffstatus.com, again, fun website, thanks for all the work that they do with their algorithms, there's a 76% chance that the Rams miss the playoffs. Now, this number is variable. It'll change as, other teams win and lose games, but this just kind of stands right now. Winning more games obviously will decrease the chances of them not making the playoffs. But right now, they're saying that there is a 7% chance of them getting the 4th seed, or 9% chance of getting the 3 seed. So that's kind of interesting there. That's assuming that they win the NFC West. There still technically is a less than 1% chance that they get the number 1 seed and a 1% chance of the 2 seed. But we just want to focus on the playoffs. After a 1-4 start, playoffs is the goal. It's the hope. It's the dream. And as you can see, there's the Vikings, Packers, and Commanders. They have kind of a 2-game lead. And unfortunately, the Packers have the tiebreaker over the Rams. So unless the Vikings started to lose a bunch or the Commanders started to lose a bunch, getting into the wild card could be tricky for the Rams. So the best way to make sure you get in the playoffs is win your division. We'll talk about that in a moment here. So in the next game, if the Rams win, best case scenario, then their chances of not making the playoffs altogether goes down 10% to 66%. There's not a lot of change there. In case some things happen, obviously the Rams need to win. And then best case scenario, the Seahawks beat the Cardinals, bringing the Rams and the Cardinals to the same record. Cardinals still having the tiebreaker over the Rams based on their first matchup, but the Rams play the Cardinals again towards the end of the season. So that would help the Rams out there. So in that, of the remaining games, as you can see, these are kind of interesting here. If they win 0 or 1 of those games, then there's a 100% chance they don't make the playoffs. 2 and 3, 99%. So very good chance they're not making the playoffs. 4 games, they're still 86% chance they're not making the playoffs. 5 games, 41% chance they're not making the playoffs. However, if they win 6 of 7 or 7 of 7, you'll see their chances of not making the playoffs is very low. And so we're going to dive into that because that is where that's kind of the range we're in right now. And that would put them in the target of winning their division, and according to this playoff status algorithm, having them at the number 3 seed, which would be really exciting, really cool. So that's kind of right. If we look at the Rams' schedule here, they play the Eagles, then the Saints, the Bills, the Niners, the Jets, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. So for all you Rams fans out there that are hoping that this, Seattle game could just be like one where you rest the starters, you need to just toss that out the window. No, if the Rams are going to win this division, it is going to be a fight to the very end. Kudos to the schedule makers for putting these games towards the end of the season like that. But let's just I'm again hoping the Rams beat the Eagles here. But if you're looking at this, the 2 hardest games on here for the Rams to win would be the Eagles and the Bills. Those are 2 teams playing really good right now. If you win one of those games, that's awesome. But let's talk about, so they lose those 2 games. I believe they can beat the Saints in New Orleans, and I believe they can sweep the Niners again. That's not an easy out. I give credit where credit's due, but I do think the Rams have the ability to beat the Niners and sweep them this year. The Jets, I believe they're kind of a dumpster fire right now, and I think the Rams can defeat the Jets in New York. Thankfully, the Rams do finish with 2 home games in week 17 and 18 this year. I think they got to win both those. And so say worse, and again, if they are only going to win 5 of the 7, now hopefully they win more, you'd assume it would be the Eagles and the Bills that they drop to. Ideally, they win both those games. If you watch my pick'em video, you'll see I picked the Rams to win. So, hypothetically, say they beat the Eagles, they beat the Saints, then, I just don't know about Buffalo, but I'm hoping they can, pull an upset off and beat them too. But in here, you got to find at least 5 wins, and you got to beat the Cardinals. That week 17 game is just turning into such an important game. Got to find a way to beat Arizona. Now, this could change based on the outcomes of the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Niners, some of the other teams in the wild card spot. But as we're looking at it right now, it seems that the path to winning the division in this final stretch of the season is winning at least 5 of these 7 games, which I do think there's 5 wins in here. But you got to find a way to beat Arizona and Seattle. Ideally, you sweep the rest of your NFC West games and you go 5-1 in the division. That's the hope. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will say $17 for that Saints game. So if you can get to New Orleans and you're a Rams fan, that's a pretty affordable game to go to right there. And that Jets game too. But anyway, that's going to do it from me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Let's get in that playoff. And then who knows what happens.